Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast. We're back in the basement. I'm your host. Co-host Jack is over there drinking some hot chocolate.
Indeed.
So it is time to review Royal Rumble
The not so Royal Rumble
2022. I would say I was pretty fine with about 2/3 of it. Fine being the word.
I was satisfied with the first maybe
quarter.
Chunk.
Eighth. Yeah. I had some issues for sure, and I don't think by any means was it an amazing show, but there were some things I liked and some things I thought were okay and some things I didn't.
I said it as like kind of a joke, but they did indeed actually peak early.
They did definitely peak really early, but
as early as it gets.
But that was nice to see. So I don't know. I don't really think we need to do much banter. We just bantered ourselves away on Saturday down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining us. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We haven't put the contact information out there lately. So, hey, we picked up a new YouTube subscriber today, which doesn't happen too often because who goes to YouTube to listen to 2-hour podcasts with no video? I know I don't.
I do, actually. That's all I use YouTube for. How dare you?
But I throw it up there anyways, just in case. So it's FNS.
This is another way to put us out. Right?
fnswrestling@gmail.com if you'd like to email us, or on Instagram, FNS.
More importantly, who's going to email us?
Nobody. Not very, very rare. On Instagram, FNS_wrestling_podcast, or comments in YouTube are fine as well. Most of our comments, almost all of them, come through Podbean, which is where I post it. That's where we get our most action. But anyways, I say we get into talking about I almost called it a pay-per-view. How dare I?
Premium live event.
Event?
Live event.
So the premium live event that was Royal Rumble 2022. So the opening match on this show is the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns.
I'll pull up our picks, actually.
Defending, go over them at the end. Go over the whole thing. Roman Reigns defending against former Shield member, along with him, Seth Rollins, and that is relevant, right?
Seth freaking Rollins.
Right, you have to say that every time, I think, don't you?
I have to say that every time. And it was awesome. He came out with like the Shield gear and the Shield team and Shield
through the crowd, the whole deal, right?
Yeah, which was actually not just because Shield, but also like it seemed to like kind of play into the match, which was I actually really like.
Yeah, it was sort of like mind games idea, right? Like he's
yeah, but I actually liked it.
Also, this idea that Reigns hasn't been able to beat Rollins in championship matches, one-on-one matches, something like that.
Big time matches,
right?
Air quotes, because I know he's beaten him before, at least a couple times, but that was on like Raw for no reason, but like Rollins beat him at Money in the Bank, or he beat him another time, or he cashed
You're not supposed
in
to remember that, all right?
Yeah. What?
Oh, the Rollins beat him. That you're allowed to remember. Sorry, I thought you...
Yeah. Oh, no. But yeah, because that main time Rollins beat him at Money in the Bank. I'm sure he beat him some point in 2015.
Probably.
And also when he cashed in on Lesnar, Reigns was the one he pinned.
And obviously Rollins was the one that turned on the group and broke them up, so he's trying to get under Reigns' skin
also did that
by coming out in the outfit and everything. So that was kind of a cool touch, I thought. So Rollins immediately is sort of avoiding Reigns' attacks at the beginning of this, eventually knocks Reigns from the ring, hits a pair of suicide dives.
Yeah, Rollins was in control a lot in the early going, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, he did, including powerbombing Reigns through the announce table at one point, countering a spear with a kick to the face. He actually hit the curb stomp right for a near fall pretty early on in this. And then, of course, Reigns eventually gets the upper hand with a clothesline and some offense before there was a triangle choke from Rollins. Reigns continues to fight back, getting some more near falls, lands a Superman punch, then a spear outside of the ring. He tries for another one in the ring, but Rollins counters that one with the pedigree,
which
right?
Which was a great callback to said match at Money in the Bank.
Right, and he got a 2 count off of that one. So then Reigns hits another spear. Rollins is kind of on the ground laughing and like holding up a fist, right, to look for the fist bump as the Shield, their sort of signature gesture or whatever.
Also, we forgot to mention Rollins hit a Shield bomb through the table.
Shield bomb, that's correct.
That was so funny.
I said he powerbombed him through the table.
Oh, right. Sorry. I
didn't call it a Shield bomb.
You didn't call it a Shield bomb, so
that's
you still screwed up. Yeah, that was funny because I remember it was so weird when they called the triple powerbomb the Shield bomb, but even weirder is calling a powerbomb a Shield bomb.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like,
so Reigns locks in a guillotine choke here.
Which I can't remember. Like, they said he's used that a bunch, which I know he has.
Yeah, he has.
I just can't remember the last time he did.
Rollins then gets to the ropes to break the hold. But Reigns just refuses to break it, so eventually he does get disqualified here. Then Reigns just continues. It's like he's snapped, right, basically. So he continues to hold the choke after the DQ. and then he sort of stands in shock in the ring. The crowd's booing him, chanting Roman sucks. He leaves the ring, grabs a chair, and just wails on Rollins for a very long time, right? Like, there was a lot of aftermath
It
to
was
this.
actually like they did it pretty well, where it was actually reminiscent of Rollins' chair attack.
Yep.
At least like at the
That's
beginning.
right.
So like it wasn't just a chair attack. It did actually, at least to me, like
It was a
you can kinda
callback to him
tell.
breaking up the Shield with
Right,
the chair
it was
attack.
kind of reminiscent of that. Yes.
Yeah, so this is where this show peaked. So talk about.
I really
Go
like
ahead.
this.
Me too.
It was one of Reigns' best matches, I think, since that. Like, this is probably the first main roster match I genuinely enjoyed since that Mania 3-way with him and Bryan and Edge.
I don't think Reigns' matches have been bad, but the pace of this one was different. Other
Right.
ones have been him walking around.
I don't think the Big E one was that great, but
doing
like,
lots of talking, right? Doing his little shtick as he talks in between
right,
moves.
but it was perfect because Rollins was hot right out of the gate. He kept it going. I think it was nice. Like the Shield bomb through the table
And
was cool. Like
the finish didn't bother me. It bothered a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it was really smart because like it works on a lot of levels, which I think is the key. Is Rollins looks great in this match.
Yep.
Because he was wearing the Shield gear, which looks cool. But I mean, he did look strong. Like he kicked Roman's ass a lot, right?
He did.
And then he didn't like get pinned, didn't submit, didn't
Right.
lose. And then also Roman still didn't beat him. And then this also sets up a rematch, or at the time I might have thought Rollins winning the Rumble, but
Yep.
we'll talk about that later.
We will. Yeah, so I had no problem with the finish.
I actually thought it was like awesome.
It
Like,
keeps Rollins looking strong, and you can either go the route of Roman Reigns snapped and just couldn't stop himself because of the mind games, whatever, or he's a heel. He simply didn't care if he gets DQ'd because Rollins was performing so well and was a legitimate threat
right.
that he decided,
Yeah, that
I'm
was
just
the
going
first
to...
time Reigns just looked like not weak,
Human.
but like really on the back pedal.
Right, like he could be vulnerable at some point.
And like, especially at the time, I still think it was really good booking by them, but more so after the match, before other events.
Yep.
I thought it was like actually some really smart booking from them for the first time in forever.
I thought the match and the storytelling were pretty fantastic,
yeah,
and
I thought
is
all around it was really smart booking. The match, the finish, like I think that it was really well done by them, and then they seemed to do everything in their power to undo that.
And if you listen to us, we are not high on main roster. We
no,
are very,
that's why
very
like I was
critical.
super pleasantly surprised by
But
this.
this match, I thought it was
Pleasantly
pretty
surprised.
terrific. I liked
Yeah, it
the
was
action.
great.
I liked the story. The aftermath. I mean, the aftermath maybe could have been a bit shorter if I really wanted to nitpick, but in the moment, it didn't really bother me.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like the first main roster match I can't really find any problems with. Like,
Nope. Fantastic start to the
forever.
show.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep. I agree. We both really enjoyed it. Like, I was pretty captivated
Dare I
by
say
it.
I loved it. Like it was just really. And
You did.
I mean,
think.
I knew a Rollins Reigns program was gonna be good, but I always have that main roster kind of like, I don't know, stigma.
Yes.
But like,
of course.
So yeah, this was like
Rollins comes out
great.
looking good. Reigns comes out looking a little bit different, like he's changed a little bit, so that's fine.
Right, which I feel like he
Needs
could
to.
have used a while
Yes,
ago.
agree.
Right. And definitely I'll have more to say on this later.
Yep. So then we move into the second match of the night, which is the Women's Royal Rumble match, which I think we were both anticipating
I was
it.
thinking the opener.
But after we saw the opener, we figured this was next, I think, in the moment, right? So for this one, we get Sasha Banks coming out in the number 1 spot. I think it was dressed like Sailor Moon, which was a cartoon.
I saw.
I want to say in the 2000s. I don't know. And then Melina comes in at number 2, being the first quote-unquote legend in this year's Women's Rumble. And basically, she gets eliminated before the 90 seconds goes up, right?
Yeah, I think that was cool, just because like
it was funny. She
it's
got to do
surprising,
she got to do her splits entrance and then got eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Tamina was 3rd, and then Kelly. I'm not going to go everybody in order, but just from what I can sort of gather, Kelly was the next legend out at number 4. And listen, everything she did in the ring looked awful.
Yeah.
But then
she took her elimination like flat on her face.
And I don't know if she was supposed to or not, but it ended up looking awesome. Right?
Yeah,
it really did.
We were thinking like she would just flip out on and land on her feet, but she just freaking like belly flopped onto the ground.
She did. It looked like
really
painful. So
yeah, like there was like a decent like oomph.
That was Banks eliminating her there as well. So then Sasha Banks, probably one of the favorites, right, was eliminated by Zelina, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think Sasha definitely should have and could have lasted longer.
I thought so too. Although maybe she's just coming back, right? So I don't know. Maybe
That's true.
Not in ring shape or whatever.
Ring rust.
Right.
Air quotes.
Significant stuff. Bianca Belair came in at number 8. Michelle McCool came in as another legend, and I actually thought she had a pretty good looking flurry at one point, considering, right?
Styles Clash.
And she eliminated Dana Brooke along the way. Sonya Deville came out at 11. And what we missed on the pre-show, which we didn't talk about, we didn't watch because there was no match on it, which I don't understand at all.
Yeah, so I'm not sure when the Viking Raiders are facing the Usos, because I feel like that at least could have been a kickoff match.
I don't understand not having one. I literally see 0 point to watching the pre-show if there's not a match.
Right, unless it's like to get... I don't see why the pre-show isn't just like solely 2 matches and then maybe some of the hype vignettes.
Because remember, we sort of skipped through it because we recorded the pre-show and we're like...
I feel like you could treat like... if they did it right, they could treat the pre-show like a NXT UK for the main roster, where there's like a couple matches, a few segments for the show, and then you're good. Like, I feel like the pre-show could be so much better and like maybe actually interesting.
Instead, when we were sort of scrubbing through it, we saw like 6 people that none of them we wanted to hear talk. I don't know.
Like a lot of the old commentators I used to hate. Like I hated Booker T on commentary. Ugh.
So apparently on the pre-show, that's where they sort of worked hard to establish this. When she has her jacket on, she's an official, Sonya Deville. Remember, because she came down and sat at commentary before she went in the match.
Oh, so removing clothing changes your status.
Right. So when she has the jacket on, she's commentary. When it comes off, she's a wrestler. And then
when Woods has the crown on.
Sorry, I said wrestler.
A superstar.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, when Woods has the crown on, he's a king. When he has it off, he's a peasant.
A superstar on this premium live event, right?
Exactly. A sports entertainment premium.
Did anyone have to go to a medical facility? I'm not sure.
Oh,
Probably.
I don't know. Did they get championship opportunity?
So basically, she does commentary for a bit and then joins the match to attack Cameron because Cameron is affiliated with Naomi, who has
I thought Cameron was an interesting.
Yeah.
Like one of the ones I wouldn't have expected, I guess.
So she didn't last long, right? Deville eliminated her pretty quickly, and then conveniently enough, Naomi's the next one out.
I was literally like gonna say, oh, Naomi's next.
Yep, and she was. So she brawls with Deville and eliminates her, and then at 17 we got Charlotte Flair, obviously one of the bigger names in it. And then Deville would get back in the mix despite the elimination.
Right, which annoyed me because I feel like it was like, it's been a lot of Deville going over Naomi,
right,
more or less, like whether it's screwing her or I don't know, she beat her or whatever. But I feel like that was an actual like kind of moment for Naomi, at least in this. And then like she just gets kind of like that almost taken away.
She got pulled from the ring apron, right? As Flair was, I think, involved as well. So Naomi's out. Ripley got her 3rd elimination when she sent Ivory. So
Ivory was awesome.
This was a good use. She came down with the full-on right to censor
siren,
theme
the gear.
in the gear, cutting a promo about the state of the division and these poor.
I think it was like how they should be housewives.
Right, and they shouldn't be and kept cutting the promo as she's being picked up and eliminated, right? Still talking into the mic.
That was really awesome because I didn't expect that. And
very fun use of her, I thought. That
theme is just a siren, but the best theme ever. That was really funny. That was a cool use of an entrant.
Yep. Then we get the first of the Bella twins came out at 19, which was Brie Bella.
Brie mode.
That's right. And then after her was Impact Women's Champion, right? They didn't even get it right.
Yeah, of course they couldn't, right? Because they did it all right with her. She did her. She was like she was Impact Mickey James, right? She was not there Mickey James, which I was expecting, right?
Impact theme, Knockouts Championship belt on her, but
Impact like gear and everything, but they called it the Impact Women's. Like they almost got it.
That was funny.
This close, yeah. I was like, of course they did.
So she eliminated Michelle McCool, which was sort of a callback to the whole Piggy James thing,
I was like,
right?
As I was happening, I was like, oh, remember Piggy James?
So that was a nice not to spoil what we're going to say later, but these were the types of things that were not in the men's rumble, right? Like these fun little sort of things. Because I was saying when you were reading me the list of the people in it, like all of these quote unquote legends, it's not fresh anymore. They seem to be in every year, but I feel like they found ways to make it a little bit fun, right? Even if they're only in there for a few seconds, like Ivory, it was still cool.
Ivory was my favorite part.
So then another use that I liked was when Nikki Ash then enters the match from the timekeeper area, and she tries to attack Ripley from behind. Nikki Bella comes out at 24. as another legend, right? And then Sarah Logan came out, I thought looking really cool.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that because like she got released and everything. She was having a child and whatnot.
Yes.
So I thought that was kind of cool because I legitimately did not expect that.
But then she was basically immediately eliminated by the Bella Twins, right?
Stupid Bella Twins. And they were doing like an L.
And then the Bella Twins eliminated Liv Morgan. Lita, who got a really nice pop when she came out, right? She came out at 26 and eliminated Mickie James from the match.
Which, again, a callback because Mickie James beat Lita in her retirement match.
Right.
I think Survivor Series 06.
Yep, so lots of little
and then
nuggets
Crime
here.
Time sold her panties.
28 was Ronda Rousey, who got a pretty good reaction
yeah, that
too,
was
I must
a
say.
rumored one. So that she was wearing so it was weird. She's wearing like a black top or whatever. Like I don't know what, like just like a top or whatever. And then like she's got like this sleeve thing, which I was like, that looks like pretty deadly. Like it looks like one of the things that they wear. Yeah.
I read somewhere that possibly it was a late decision to put her in, and that was the kind of the gear she had. I find that hard to believe, but.
Yeah, because I don't know what else they were going to do with her. Maybe after the Lynch match, actually?
Or she would come in after the Royal Rumble I don't know.
Which she did in her debut.
But, so obviously a stare down from Charlotte Flair as she's coming in. So Rousey kind of runs through everybody and then eliminates...
She was not smiling when she walked down the ring, so that kind of indicated, like, okay,
heel Becky,
they're not...
heel Rousey.
Or, like, at least, like, serious. Like, they're not going to, like, ignore the kind of, like, little arc she had.
With the big fake
in
smile.
Her run. Right, because remember, then she was like getting booed a lot at Survivor Series, and then that kind of started her being like more not smiley.
Right. So she eliminates Nikki ASH. Brie Bella eliminates her Nikki, which was a surprise.
The Molly Holly thing.
Is that after she was eliminated or before? I don't remember. But I did like that.
Oh, wait, no, I think it was after maybe.
She was out on the floor, right?
I don't know, just keep going and we'll see.
So Brie Bella eliminates Nikki Bella, right?
So, which is a reverse of the 2018 Rumble.
Interesting. So another little callback there. And then Brie gets eliminated by Ronda Rousey. The final entrant of the match is your favorite, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, so this got my hopes up because this is
silly boy.
You're
so young and hopeful. You're not old and cynical like me yet. I knew she wasn't winning anything.
Her first Rumble, she's
amazing.
30th.
Don't get me wrong.
And boy, I got some complaining to do.
You do. So she basically joins forces with Rousey here for a little bit, right?
I mean, hey, love that. That's pretty sick.
Rousey continues to eliminate people.
And you were saying, like, realistically, who beats that team, right?
Yes.
Like, if we're going, like, this is all real.
Right.
Who
if this
beats
is
that
legit.
team?
Right. So, yes, the one thing that we didn't mention, you're right, Nikki ASH, I liked it because Molly...
So, Molly Holly comes out in the Mighty Molly gimmick, which is, like, the hurricane superhero thing. And as she's coming out, Nikki ASH is, like, along the barricade. I think she might have gone eliminated. I honestly don't remember. But then she just blasts her.
A vicious
and, like, takes her
attack.
out.
It looked good.
So that was pretty cool.
I like that spot, too.
Superhero stuff.
So, our final four are Rousey, Flair, Belair, and Baszler. Flair simultaneously eliminated Baszler and Belair.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
So, of course, she throws out Baszler and Belair. Yeah, why not get both of them while you're at
Charlotte Flair, am I right?
Stupid.
So then it's down to Flair and Rousey, obviously, and as it seems to be now in the last few years, it's like you don't get any time once there's two. It's like over almost immediately. Flair charges at Rousey catches her and suplexes her over the top, and it's over, right?
Of course, Charlotte had to get into the final two.
So Ronda Rousey is the winner, and I'm pointed at the sign, I'm sure. I don't know. But anyways, what did you think of
the... It caught on fire a couple times.
It did. It caught on fire after this match.
I do believe it. Also, it's funny to mention that the sign was a giant star. I just think that's kind of just like it's a giant star, you know?
I don't... Why does that...
Pointing at
why
a
is that a thing?
Star. That's, like, it's a star.
Okay. What did you think of this match?
I think it was pretty good. Probably one of my favorite women's rumbles out of the few they've had.
I enjoyed it for the most part.
I can't remember any like ones that stand out to me, but I think this one was pretty good. Yeah. Ivory was very amazing. I think generally, like I feel like they did a good job of bringing in a couple surprise entrants that they haven't done before, like Ivory or Cameron
and even though none of them were big, exciting names, they used them kind of in a clever way.
And that was the other thing I was going to get to is they were like used very well. Like
I agree.
A lot of callbacks, a lot of like entertaining parts, and like I think it was generally well done. And like Rousey was a cool return, even though she was rumored. Like it's kind of like Edge, not as big, but like it's like. You kind of know it's coming, but still cool when it actually happens. And that brings me to the end result. I think Rousey coming back is cool and all. I don't didn't love her for most of her first run, but I did come around on her.
She was
for
fine,
sure.
right?
And I do kind of like her, but she's no Shayna Baszler.
No.
And I don't understand how they had Shayna Baszler enter last again, had her not win again, and get eliminated by Charlotte again. It's not like
Charlotte.
It's not even like Charlotte won this time. She didn't have to be thrown up by Charlotte. Like,
Well, I think they're going back to Rousey Charlotte, right? And this is their way of getting there. Which, of course, I don't want to see that again either. But
even that's dumb. Go Ronda Becky. We never got that match.
True.
We already seen Ronda Charlotte. And
Yep.
Charlotte can just do whatever. I don't care at this point. Have Baszler kick her ass, honestly. Like, I feel like it's so dumb to have like Rousey return. She could literally just interrupt Lynch on Raw and the title match is set.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have like Baszler or honestly have Belair win again. I'd much prefer that than like something like Rousey, and then like have them like face Flair or something.
But Rousey's a person that people outside of wrestling know. And so when you get those, and I bet you Royal Rumble is outside of WrestleMania, their biggest like casual fans or like spouses of fans are watching, and they can be like, oh, I know her, because as soon as she showed up I knew she was winning, right? As soon as she's in the match, you know she's winning it. But
I really need Baszler out of here because she's not going to do anything. She's
I told you, if I could pluck one person from
Yes.
WWE and move them to AEW, male or female, she would be my
I know
person.
she doesn't quite have the star power, but the thing that pisses me off is she's
amazing.
She's the Brock Lesnar.
She
doesn't
should
have
be.
quite the same star power, but she's the female Brock Lesnar. I really don't see what's so wrong with her. She's like
Because they're not worried about wrestling. They're worried about like entertaining.
She needs to get out of there.
She does.
And I forgot to mention that she got a new theme, which sucks.
I don't even remember. I remember you saying it was new, but I don't really remember.
Her old theme was awesome.
But yeah, I thought this like
the match itself was good. I do not like the result though.
Battle royals are never my favorite because there's never any real good
but
in-ring
it's when
work.
they can integrate stuff into it. That's when it gets good.
Yeah, so this was some entertaining stuff along the way. A really good use of the quote-unquote legends. A lot of callbacks to things. Like, just entertaining, I thought. So, yeah, I didn't really have a problem with this match either. I feel like maybe these were the two best things on the show in the first couple slots here. I don't know. I didn't mind some other stuff as well. But
early.
I thought this was a solid match.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I don't know why they made the decision to put the Raw Women's match next, because don't you feel like this was the logical spot for the Grit couple versus the It couple?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Switch these, right? So, unfortunately, the crowd is obviously coming down from that pretty good Rumble match. And then we could see as we were watching, right, the crowd wasn't watching this. They were all turning their heads as we looked at the screen to the right.
Which, because some fans, I think, had to evacuate.
They did. They evacuated it. So I was wondering if there was a fight or something, because as someone who's been to some NFL games, generally when the whole crowd, you were wondering if it was a beach ball, if the beach balls were back.
Yeah, I thought it might be that.
So the crowd is distracted by the sign catching on fire and melting, apparently, and them having to evacuate a section. So
how does that happen? I mean, I know it's like a big light up thing or whatever, but I'd like to know like how that actually happened.
Apparently they handled it pretty quickly and got it sorted out.
Yeah, that's good.
But it is Becky Lynch defending against Doudrop, and I'm gonna call her Piper Niven because I can't stand the name Doudrop, so forgive me. This is one of my I'm not doing it.
That's kind of funny.
So Niven, she's using her power, right? That's her advantage here. So she takes the fight to Becky right away.
I think she's all right, but I think she's pretty basic.
I like her actually. She tried a cannonball against the ring steps, and Lynch moved, and I thought it looked pretty good. It was a pretty nice spot for, I'll say Doudrop, it's fine. So then, obviously, Becky Lynch takes control there. Doudrop continues to fight back as it went on. She hit some big power bomb and some splashes in the corner. Lynch nearly won with a flipping senton. Was it the Molly go round, right? I think it was.
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, so that was a near fall there. Doudrop, again, she countered the manhandle slam, as she has every time in this match. It was sort of the story of the match, one of them anyways, that Lynch kept trying to go for it and couldn't get to it before this match sort of thing. So then it was like she finally does hit the manhandle slam right off of the second rope, I believe it was, which is kind of nice because she had to hit like kind of a super finisher to pin Doudrop, I guess. So that's a feather in her cap, as they would say. So, I mean, Becky Lynch wins. What did you think of this match? I think you liked it less than I did.
I think it was pretty good. Like I don't think it was like great. I don't think it was terrible. I think it was like a solid match, but I mean, for a Rumble, I feel like I I would have liked like a little more from this.
I think that's fair.
But I think they did like a pretty good job, and it was probably my third favorite thing on the show.
Yep. Oh wow.
After
okay.
the like
First two?
I'm like
It's
I'll
in
talk
order
about the
right
other
now.
match. Yeah, right now we're in order. I'm pretty sure it'll stay that way. For the most part. I think it was pretty good. I don't know. One of the issues is I feel like there wasn't like a lot of heat in this match.
No.
Like,
well, I mean, let's be honest.
I don't think Doudrop was like.
There's
very
no
believable.
universe where Doudrop's winning.
Right, but I feel like, and I don't really know, but I don't think there didn't feel like there was much of a feud either. But I think they did a pretty good job.
And it was kind of heel versus heel, and the crowd's distracted,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I felt kind of bad for them. I thought the match was pretty good. I liked it, and I thought Doudrop had a good showing here. So hopefully they can do something with her in the future, maybe get a name change and get some character development for her. But I felt bad for them. I thought it was a good match that was pretty much in a tough spot here. A spot on the card, 2 heels, not a great build, signs on fire, crowd's distracted. You know, it was not a great formula, but I thought it was a decent match for sure. Yeah, better than decent. I kind of liked it. We then go to the WWE Championship in this spot, which is the champion Brock Lesnar taking on Bobby Lashley in just a suplex festival, basically, right?
Yeah, there are a couple times where like I say something and then it happens. Like I remember saying like Rollins should do the catch pedigree, and then he did. I was like, Bobby Lashley should wear white, and then he was wearing white, which I think is cool because white's like the best thing you could wear.
So Brock hits the first German suplex, laughs at Lashley.
A lot of them were taken high too.
Yeah, the first couple were for sure, and then Lashley kind of takes them on his side a little bit. Lashley then immediately hits one.
Right, that one was like Lesnar took his really high.
Yes, and they're sort of popping right back up from them, right? So Lesnar comes back with a couple more, and they're just both trying to just high impact suplex, trying to do damage to each other, these giant men. Lashley hits 2 spears, flips out of an F5 attempt at one point. Lesnar sort of saw Lashley coming with a spear outside the ring, so he moved out of the way, and Lashley crashed through the ringside barricade in a spot that I find is a bit overdone at this point. The first couple times, it's cool, right? But you know it happens on a regular basis now. So then this sort of gives Lesnar the advantage. He hits a whole bunch of German suplexes here, goes for the F5 again. Lashley counters, locks in the Hurt Lock right in the middle of the ring. Lesnar's desperate to escape, and he drives Lashley into the referee, right? So the referee is down.
I thought it was he did an F5, then Lashley kicked the ref.
That is coming here too.
Oh, there was 2 ref bumps?
So he kind of bumps. Yeah, he bumped. Backward. Yeah, he bumped into the ref. Then he hit the F5, and the F5 knocked the ref out.
I missed the first part then.
So the ref is down, and Lesnar gets whatever the phantom pinfall, right, where the crowd's counting, and it would have been enough to win the match. But obviously, there's no referee.
I feel like it always makes the person look dumb. Like, because I feel like if the ref was there, they'd somehow kick out then. You know what I mean?
Right. Or, yeah, because and the guy making the pinfall, once you see the ref's not there, why won't you get up and start kicking him in the face or something?
Right. Like, if you don't hear the pinfall if you don't even hear one, why are you're doing it wrong?
So Lesnar's kind of walking around, like, waiting for another referee. Roman Reigns comes down, spears Lesnar, and then there's this moment where he turns to Heyman and sort of reaches out, and Heyman hands him the WWE Championship belt, and Reigns uses it to lay out Lesnar. Heyman walks off with Reigns as Lashley sort of just rolls over or comes over and pins Lesnar for the 3 count with a new referee. So we get a new champion, obviously.
2-time champ Lashley.
Obviously, Paul Heyman is back with Reigns, and this was all some sort of con, I guess.
Maybe?
So I don't know. What did you think of this one?
I'm going to be honest. A lot of people wanted this match, saying it was a dream match. I think it was fine, but I think it could have been better.
Yeah.
I think I did have some decent expectations, like a lot of people. Like, I think it wasn't a bad match, but I feel like there was a lot more they could have done.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't like the finish. I think it also came too soon. It confused me because I feel like Reigns, like, he seemed to a lot be of the opinion he did not want to face Lesnar, right? Mm-hmm. It definitely felt like that. So I really don't get what his motive is here.
Maybe we're finding out on Raw or something. I
guess so, right? Or we're finding out who's Lesnar's picking. Who's he picking?
I wonder.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. But like, I don't know. I don't see Reigns' motive. I don't understand why Heyman's going back with him, because he, like, let's say it's real. He got fired by Reigns, and then he went back with Lesnar, who he's been with way longer.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's going back to Reigns. And if it is a con, which I think is very possible, why? I don't understand any of this. And then another thing is, now it really seems like Reigns is gonna be in the program with Lesnar, which
It does.
sucks because they did such a great job in the opener.
So where does that
setting
leave
up
Rollins, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
which I was really pissed off about because it really feels like they just kind of undid what they did in the opener, which I thought was super smart. I was like, oh my god, they booked something pretty smart, and now it feels like they're trying to undo that. It's like it was a fluke that they booked something good, you know?
Could be a triple threat or something.
Is right. And I'm hoping that they salvage it and that Rollins finds his way into a triple threat, which I think would be a really cool match actually.
Right.
But I would have preferred Reigns versus Rollins again, but I guess we'll see.
It's interesting that these were the two finishes they put in the championship matches, right? Like in the men's championship matches.
I think the other one was definitely way better.
But I like this for what it was, like just a very physical match between two monsters, right? Just suplexing each other and spears and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I don't think this is like their definitive match by any means. I feel like there's another one there that could be twice as long and
yeah, I just think they could have done a lot better with this.
I kind of liked it for what it was. The finish doesn't bother me. I'm interested to see what the explanation is as well. But I mean, it was interesting. I'll say that for it. And I think
I wouldn't say I'm interested to see the explanation. I think I need to see the explanation because there's like a lot of possibilities from this. I don't know. It just was kind of annoying because it's like kind of undoes the good finish in my opinion and also confused me.
And non-storyline wise, Lesnar's doing a pretty good job as this kind of baby face. He's speaking for himself and doing a good job.
Right.
So he needs Heyman less than he ever has.
Honestly,
like I can't believe how in the brief things I've seen, he sounds really good actually.
Yeah, if it had made like Rollins or Riddle win the Rumble or something, honestly, keep the title on Lesnar. I don't care at this point.
Yep.
Like I feel like I don't love Lesnar with the title, but he has actually shown up consistently, which is one of my main complaints with his title runs.
Right.
Honestly, that's what I hate is he took the title for like 500 days and would only like show up on major pay-per-views and also Great Balls of Fire for some reason.
Yep.
And so I think like he's been showing up consistently. He has been doing better work. Like honestly, I always hated him on the promo. I always hated when he does.
No,
like,
he's funny now.
Weird treat. Yeah. So
looks like he's just having a good time now.
And and he seems to be putting an effort, which is another thing. Like I think he's great when he puts an effort, like against matches with like Rollins and Bryan and AJ Styles and Balor. Like he's great. So honestly, I would have been actually like I love Lashley. I think he's great too. But I feel like honestly Lesnar, like because they already booked day one, that's done. That's whatever. I think it honestly would have been better if Lesnar kept the title and then Rollins like wins the Rumble or something. They set up that because honestly, Reigns versus Rollins is a money Mania feud, and it
could be.
It practically books itself. Like I think that's money because any Shield feud people just eat that up, and honestly, it's usually pretty good too. So I don't know. The finish is confusing, and honestly, I would have been fine with Lesnar winning, which feels odd to say.
It doesn't help Lashley, right? Really?
Right, like Lashley.
Like he's a two-time champ, which is great.
He won the title again, but he doesn't really look like he earned it. Like I feel like they would have benefited from at least Lashley if he was going to win, actually winning.
A spear and a belt shot he needed, right? So
right.
But I thought
not
it was
even his spear.
This is not where the show went off a cliff for me. It's after this match where it sort of plummeted. So I still like this match with Lashley and Lesnar. Again, I don't think it's their definitive match. I don't think it's exactly the dream match people have been waiting 15 years for. But I thought it was a pretty good physical match between the two.
It was all right.
So then, man, this we get to the mixed tag team match, which
I was honestly just like. We couldn't, but I honestly was so hoping we could just skip this and go to the Rumble.
Miz and Maurice taking on Edge and Beth Phoenix. I could not get into this at all.
I don't know why they think this
felt long.
Belongs on the Royal Rumble. Okay, hold on. They felt the need to put a mixed tag match on the Rumble card, but not the tag title match?
Where they spend a whole lot of time not following the mixed tag rules. So anyone that complains about AEW officials not having control, all those WWE fans that complain,
right? And
you
AEW,
better complain
I feel like
about
they
this.
at least go outright and saying there's referee's discretion. I feel like WWE, on the other hand, does their best to strictly follow their match rules. You know what I mean? I feel like AEW's referees at least they do say it's referee's discretion or whatever.
Yep. So starting out, you had Maurice trying to avoid Beth Phoenix, right? As you would expect.
But
So then the Miz and Edge are in there for a lot of the early
I
section.
think they did that kind of thing better in the Cole Baker match. I think that also hurts this match too, as we can compare it to this,
to a recent one
to
that
this
was good.
one. Yeah, recently.
So this is like the threat of, are the women going to face off? Because the idea obviously is Beth Phoenix would just kill Maurice, right? So Maurice gets some cheap shots into Edge as Miz was in control, but Edge DDT allows the tag to Phoenix. And
Execution?
then, of course, yeah, right. Of course, then Maurice has to come in. Miz has to break up a pin because Maurice is just getting dominated. Phoenix then...
Are they allowed to do it? Did he actually break it up, or did he like do something to the ref?
I don't know.
Cause like I don't know if he can actually because intergender.
I think he broke it up. Beth gets in Miz's face, and then whatever, she slams Miz into the corner, hits him several times, and then Maurice attacks Beth from behind with the loaded purse with the brick in it, apparently.
That was like...
Even though when you throw it to the floor, it bounces, so I don't know what bricks
Right.
quite bounce that way.
I don't think there's anything in there, and also she just like... It's like if I just moderately swing a pillow at you. That's what, like, it just looked like... It looked like...
If the pillow has bricks in it, it might be okay.
Right, and she hit her in the back too. At least like hit her in the head, so then it's like a believable, like, I don't know. There's just a lot wrong with that.
And Beth, well, maybe for that reason, Phoenix does kick out, and then it's hot tag to Edge time. Basically, Phoenix provides an assist to Edge, this time hitting Miz with a power bomb, which was kind of cool, but again, not supposed to happen according to these rules.
Yeah.
And then Edge.
I feel like they always like allow that though, and then like Miz isn't powerbombing her. Let me just say.
Edge hits an elbow drop for a near fall. Maurice pulls Phoenix from the apron, and then we end up with Maurice hitting Edge with a Rana off the ropes, right? Which was a bit surprising.
Zelina Vega. Mm-hmm.
And Beth Phoenix with a DDT before Miz hit Edge with a skull-crushing finale, but Edge manages to kick out.
Oh, Miz Maryse should have done the influences finisher.
Oh yeah, the double skull-crushing finale. Beth Phoenix then comes back into the ring, and we get a double spear, Edge on Miz basically, and then the pair hit simultaneous glam slams as well, right?
Oh, it's so nice.
And pick up the win. I think this one was like 14 or 15 minutes. It felt longer than that to me.
So long.
I just couldn't get into it.
I was trying to pay attention.
I watched it.
I did the best I could to pay attention.
I wasn't on my phone or anything. I watched the dang thing.
No, I was half paying attention. I struggled with this one.
Me too.
That's all I can say is like it felt way longer than it was. Like I feel like the boredom and not caring added 10 minutes or something, So like it was just like, I don't know, it was just really boring. I don't care about this feud. I don't want to see Beth Phoenix or Maurice. I didn't want Edge versus Miz in the first place. There's no stakes here. There's no reason for this existing. There's like, it wasn't like very good in ring either. Like I feel like it was mediocre.
There wasn't
at
much
best. Like,
there.
There's just not really anything to like about this.
And to me, along with the Becky Lynch Doudrop, and no offense to them, I think they're both good performers, but that match and this match doesn't feel like something that's on your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, probably.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's fair.
Like if you want
I don't know, maybe SummerSlam.
If you want to throw this on Raw, or you want to throw this on a minor pay-per-view, go ahead. But this was like the second last match at Royal Rumble.
I feel like Doudrop versus Lynch would have been like a perfect title match for day one.
Right. So I was not a fan of this match. I was just bored.
There's just nothing, like no reason to watch this match. You could skip. I could have skipped over that match and just the show would have been the same.
Yep. Speaking of boring, we get to the men's Royal Rumble match. Goodness.
Which is what I look forward to the most generally. So.
And this was a disappointment, not to spoil our reactions. But so AJ Styles starts out okay, right? Because AJ comes out number 1.
And Nakamura.
Shinsuke's number 2.
I was like, oh, ho.
So that's cool. First person eliminated was Robert Roode. He got taken out by Styles, like, shortly after getting into the match,
also,
basically.
Nakamura wearing all white, which is super clean.
Styles eventually eliminates Shinsuke, and then he looked pretty good, right? Starting out number 1 here, at least, which was nice. Then we get a whole bunch of people coming in without anything really happening. Like Johnny Knoxville comes in at 9, which I guess is one of the notable things. Not that I was impressed by it, but he goes right after Sami Zayn, taking him down and punching him and pointing at the WrestleMania signs. Is that what we're getting? Anyways, he hits a forearm to Styles before Styles hits him with a combination of quick strikes, Montez Ford
Phenomenal blitz.
hits a frog splash to Knoxville's knees, really, right? Like, it wasn't the cleanest frog splash I've ever seen. And then Sami Zayn eliminates Knoxville with a kick. Styles then throws Zayn over. And then other notable is good old Omos comes in, right? And he is obviously just taking out anyone he could. And we sort of talked about it because was it Corbin that was built up, like looked pretty good and hit a bunch of stuff, and then we're like, oh, that's why. Because
wait, no, Corbin was built up later.
Oh, that's not
But
yet.
no,
You're
not
right.
yet.
Sorry. So he comes in, takes out a whole bunch of people. I think I called it, and almost in order of who he was going to eliminate right away.
And it's like
Both I was like, Dawkins is gone, Montez is gone.
Yeah,
right?
you mentioned like it's like there was like who's gonna stop insert big man name here,
Right.
But then they always get stopped.
That's right. Like, oh, who could, like, every big man ever's won the Royal Rumble, or wait, almost none of them ever have, right?
Right.
So maybe none. Has there ever been like a giant that's won it?
Big John Studd in
Oh, okay.
1989.
There you go. So Omos eventually does get eliminated by like 6 people with AJ with a phenomenal forearm to the butt. Right? Sent was the final touch.
Yeah,
The icing on that cake.
Okay, I mean, there's AJ's big moment right there. Who needs a Rumble when you can
so.
eliminate Omos with 6 other people?
So Styles is still looking good at this point. He's in it for quite a while. And then he finally gets eliminated through that he got thrown out by Corbin and
Right.
Madcap Moss. I thought Corbin looked pretty good in this. Like,
As good as Corbin.
add him to the list of people, and this is one of the things that really angered me about this. Big E, who we'll get to, was invisible. Like, think of the people that got more attention than Big E.
Corbin,
Bad Bunny, Omos. What's his face? Johnny Knoxville got more attention.
Shane?
Probably. Like, if you had told
Lesnar.
me, like, next week, if you said to me Big E wasn't in this match, I would be like, wasn't he? Because I don't know, right? I don't remember things well,
Or
but
like a month from now, you're just not gonna remember.
poor Big E.
Yeah,
anyways,
I know. Yeah.
and then we get again, things kind of slowed down here, and then we get some bigger names rolling in. Drew McIntyre with a nice reaction.
So he returned because like it was like actually said he probably wouldn't make it, so that was cool. And yeah, that's what we were saying is Corbin and Moss were built up just to be fed to
him.
McIntyre.
Yep. So he came in at 21 and quickly does take out Corbin and Moss. And then he follows them outside the ring, too, to beat them up a little bit more.
Which I was like, why?
Is this his Mania opponent?
Oh, my God. If we get McIntyre versus Corbin for a Mania feud, oh, man. That's brutal.
Then we get some of the bigger names, right? Because we got nobody of consequence, really, for the first... Like, we got AJ and Shinsuke, but then, like,
right
just fodder the rest of the way.
Hey, we got some big names already. We got Omos.
So, Owens comes out at 22, Mysterio 23, Kofi Kingston 24. Kofi.
Yeah, so he got knocked off the top rope by somebody. I don't remember. And then he jumped onto the barricade, but I saw, like, I was like, oh, I think his feet touched the floor. And
even
they
in real time, yeah.
it. Like, they knew they screwed it up.
Then they slow-mo replayed it, and there's no...
Yeah, that sucks. Because
no
I always like that.
Of course.
I mean, hey, he's been doing that since 2012, and he has not screwed up. So if the first time he's screwing up is 10 years later,
right.
That's fine.
I mean, I hated the pancake one, but most of the other ones
I didn't mind that.
funny.
But yeah, he's done like a pretty good job of that for like the past decade. So I mean, if now he screws up, that's okay. It did kind of suck that happened.
So for me, this match that has to this point had I would say maybe literally nothing entertaining. The one thing that might have entertained me, botched it.
And no surprise entrance. Like, I mean, okay, Drew McIntyre was kind of surprising actually.
Yeah. Bad Bunny's in at 27. He took out Sheamus, Owens, and then Riddle. Which, sure, okay. And I don't think Bad Bunny's bad. He trains. He loves wrestling. He's, for a celebrity involved in wrestling, he's not bad.
What the hell is he doing in my Royal Rumble, though? Why? Like, I mean, at least...
Because he's a big name.
At least last year, he appeared in the match, but he wasn't entered in it. And then that was at least to set up that stupid Mania thing.
Right.
But like this, I literally don't see what he's going to do. And honestly, that's a huge waste of a Rumble spot. Like, there are people like Cesaro and there's someone else who wasn't in there, like Cesaro, Rollins. Like, they're these guys
Cesaro got nothing. That's disappointing.
They weren't in the Rumble. Like, I don't like. They just wasted a spot with Bad Bunny.
Apparently, Cesaro liked some tweets of people saying like you couldn't find something for this guy to do, right?
Right. Yeah. I can't remember someone else people were saying, but like Cesaro like, or I think Rollins should have won. He didn't even get in.
No. So Sheamus tries to go for the elimination of Bad Bunny with a brogue kick, but obviously Bad Bunny's too smart, pulls down the rope. Sheamus is out. Good old Shane McMahon comes in.
Okay, I love Shane because he sucks. So like whoops. So that like when he came out, that made me laugh.
But then he like got the better of a strike exchange with Riddle at one point. Like, come on.
That was I gotta love those Shane McMahon punches. Am I right?
So Shane eliminates Owens, which I guess is at least a callback to their sort of situation.
That kind of I actually kind of forgot, but that kind of disappointed me because in what world should Shane go over Owens?
Then there's a run here that 3 of 4 eliminations were either by Bad Bunny or a Shane McMahon. So that kind of sums up this match,
fun.
right?
That's nice.
Orton comes out at 29, immediately goes after, works with Riddle to eliminate Big E.
And number 30 is...
and Otis.
Question mark, but I was like, Rollins.
No.
Of course not.
And I was telling you it was Lesnar.
No, I had a feeling it was, but I'm
which we'll revisit in our picks, I think. So Lesnar comes out at 30.
Don't be like that.
And so the final 6 is Lesnar, Orton, Riddle, McMahon, Bad Bunny, and Drew McIntyre. So Lesnar takes out everyone with suplexes, eliminates Orton. Lesnar then hit Bad Bunny with an F5, threw him out. Riddle was next, and then McMahon, leaving it with the final 2 of McIntyre and Lesnar. And again, don't let these 2 really talented wrestlers have a little bit of a match here. I get, why would you do that? Lesnar slaps away a Claymore attempt, basically, and F5s Drew over the top rope. And Brock Lesnar loses the championship, but wins the Royal Rumble. Thoughts? Go ahead. I'll take a drink because you're going to be a while.
This was probably one of my least favorite Rumbles in recent memory.
It's really bad. It's up there.
It was not great.
There was nothing. Nothing.
I watched it recently, I think like a couple days ago, like maybe the day before the Rumble. I watched it. The Thunderdome Rumble was better. The Thunderdome Rumble, that Rumble wasn't great either.
The women's Rumble, there's like 4 or 5 entertaining little things.
Okay, so I'll talk about the surprise entrance first, because the women's Rumble, some of them, sure, like they're kind of overdone, but like some of them were more interesting. B, they were used well. Like they put them to good use in the match. This one, you have Drew McIntyre, which is the only surprise entrant worthwhile. Bad Bunny, who needs Bad Bunny in the Rumble? Like, there's no spot for him. And Shane McMahon,
it's star power, man. That's all.
Shane McMahon, while I find that hilarious, that's also a waste of a spot. And Brock Lesnar, get the hell out.
And I told you, Shane's going to be a regular on Raw going
Shane's
forward.
regular. I think it's heel Shane too, which is lame.
It's awful.
The best in the world, actually. And Lesnar winning, I feel like that's them kind of throwing away the spot again. I feel like
this is what they do, man.
I know they don't.
This isn't to build anybody.
I know, but like if you even look to 2020, which was McIntyre, that was them using the Rumble right. Rollins in 2019, that was them using the Rumble right. Nakamura, that's where they built.
But I don't know who's in a position for that right now. Who have they built to be on the?
Big
He's
E.
not. He's in a tag team with no signs of fractures yet.
They were going to. And Big E, why not Big E? What?
Well,
what is wrong with Big E?
Somebody hates Big E, clearly.
Honestly, and I would even take Drew again because he never really got that moment. So why not give it to Drew again? Like, there's so many better choices than Lesnar, and I know it's Lesnar, but that's my point. It's Lesnar. He could have a title match whenever he freaking wants. They could set that up on Raw tomorrow, no questions asked. The Rumble win could at least just be more useful.
But now this goes on the posters for WrestleMania starting now because we already know he's in the main event and Ronda Rousey's in the main event. That's all they want, right?
Can't both be in the main event.
2 nights, sure they can.
They can. They can.
But I honestly, one of the takeaways, I thought this was awful, and
it was a boring Rumble and
honestly, I hate to keep going back to it, but what are you doing with Big E? Like, I don't understand. It's like he wasn't in this. Did he do anything? Did he hit a big ending? Did he eliminate anyone? I don't know. He was non-existent.
Couldn't he have even gone runner-up to Lesnar? Could he not have even done that?
You know who we didn't even talk about it in my summary, and he got more shine than Big E, which is crazy?
Otis?
Boogs.
Oh.
Right, he came in doing power
Freddie
stuff.
Mercury
for a bunch.
Yeah.
He got more attention than Big E did, which is disgusting.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going on about how it should have been Rollins or it should have been Riddle. Honestly, Big E, a legitimately good consideration. Someone I honestly think I can say like it should be like someone like Rollins or Riddle, but Big E is someone Vince should love.
Yes.
Big E is someone who Vince should want to give to the Rumble to. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
he had his turn. They weren't happy, and I think they're done with him.
I think it should be Rollins for the Roman feud. I think Big E's someone that Vince should want to win. Like, and I like sure it wasn't the best run, but that's because they're booking. I think Big E did as good as he could have in that title run, and then they jobbed him to Lesnar, and now
shipped him off to SmackDown.
Right, and now Lesnar's back in the same spot he would have been at day one, and Big E gets hosed. Like it doesn't make sense, and all of this also seems to undo that amazing opener, which I feel like was booked so great, and now I honestly don't know where that's at.
They just give you a little bit of faith, right? A little bit of hope.
I was like, holy crap, they booked something amazing. And then it's like they did everything in their power through the course of the show to undo that and make it seem like this big ass fluke.
Yeah, it
like,
was
honestly, it amazes me how like the one time they actually did something smart, the one time they did something I'm applauding them for, and I hate the main roster, and I was like applauding them for that.
It was great.
It seems like they just like flush that down the toilet for no reason.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Rollins. They made him look like he's within an eyelash of beating the unbeatable guy, and now that guy's off on a separate direction.
Yeah, don't exactly. It's like Roman's just like, you almost beat me, I'm done with you or something. Like, and like now I feel like it's 2 years where the Rumble win is wasted on a part-timer taking spots from other people.
And if this were AEW, we'd be like, we'll give them the benefit of doubt. They'll probably make it. But here,
I'm not giving them the benefit of doubt. They had it made. They had Big E, Rollins, like these guys who like there's something easily there for them. But then they just ran back to Lesnar. They always go back to Lesnar until he gets old or dies or retires. They're gonna go back to Lesnar, and it's ridiculous because
he's a draw. That's all. When he stops being a draw, they'll stop.
Suggesting maybe Reigns loses, then he goes to Hollywood. Then Vince is gonna lose his crap. Like everyone's gonna ditch, and then it's just Lesnar. Lesnar's gonna break Ric Flair's world title record at this rate. Like honestly, it's
apparently
sickening.
We were seeing things that morale is down backstage after the Rumble. Right?
My morale's down after Royal Rumble.
You are fired up for sure. So yes, the main event, this Royal Rumble was really, really bad. There was just nothing. There was nothing of interest in it.
That's the best way to put it.
So overall, sort of thoughts and a letter grade attached to this sucker?
I would like to first, again, praise the opener for actually being genuinely enjoyable.
It was.
A good finish, just well booked. If I had to give it a main roster rating, just as compared to main roster matches, I'd give that like an 8 out of 10 or something. For main roster matches, hell yeah, that was awesome. From there, like they peaked as early as they possibly could have. I think the women's rumble was pretty enjoyable, all things considered. I think the result was wrong, but other than that, good rumble. I think the women's match, while not really feeling like it belonged, it was good enough. And I think Lesnar Lashley had a crap finish. Finish was dumb. And I think the match was solid, but could have been better. And mixed tag was an absolute waste of my time.
It really was.
Mine too. It bored me, and I can probably fit the same description for the Rumble match. It let me down. Last year, I was not happy with the finish either, but I feel like the Rumble itself was at least a little more satisfactory.
Yes.
This Rumble just did not have anything. The best, like the real only surprise entrance, like I feel like Lesnar and Drew are like kind of surprising, but also on the roster mostly, like I feel like the only real surprise entrants are Bad Bunny and Shane McMahon. Yep. That's all they had for me is Bad Bunny and Shane McMahon.
Letter grade?
So honestly, if I have to give it overall, I'm gonna help them out a bit because the opener was really good, but I honestly think it's just like kind of on the high end, but a C+. Like,
yep.
And this is the Royal Rumble. This is the show this is like one of the only main roster pay-per-views I ever actually look forward to, just without any reason, because it's the Royal Rumble, and they really let me down on almost all fronts.
I was debating between a C+ and a B-, and I settled on, after going over the main event Royal Rumble, I'm settling on a C+ as well. I love the opener.
For Royal Rumble.
Love the opener. Liked the women's Royal Rumble, liked the women's championship match, liked the Lashley Lesnar match, and then it went off a cliff for me, right? So the final third of the show with the mixed tag and the men's Royal Rumble were just not entertaining at all, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth after kind of enjoying the first 2/3. So I can't put it quite in the B range. Pretty
Yeah.
close.
I
I'm going to
can
give it
good
a C
faith put
plus
it in
as
the C
well.
plus range, yeah,
So
or
let's
the B range.
revisit our picks. Tell me how much I won by.
Yeah, I'll save some time that you did win.
Of
so.
course, I'm the main roster whisperer.
Yeah.
Despite never
Yeah.
watching it, it's the most predictable crap ever.
And I'll take a sec to say, again, opener, very good. And it was like, I don't know. I feel like I have to say that because I don't like main roster,
So
but
we both
genuinely
picked that wrong, though?
love that. But anyways, so I'm just gonna go in order of the table. But so Becky Lynch, Doudrop, we both picked Lynch, so 1-1, I guess.
Yep.
You picked the mixed tag, so 2-1.
Bang.
We don't need to count the
Edge wasn't winning.
SmackDown tag match because that didn't happen at least.
Right.
Lashley Lesnar, I picked that, so 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Rollins Reigns, we both picked Reigns, so 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
For the women's rumble, neither of us got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Then the men's rumble, that's 3 points for you for picking Lesnar first.
Bing, bing. 6-3.
Yeah.
That's a whooping.
And then surprise entrance. For the men's rumble, you got Lesnar, so I'll give you one more for that, I guess.
7-3.
And I didn't get any. And then women's rumble, we both picked Rousey. I picked Rousey second, so
You get 2 points. 7-5.
yeah. And then you get 1 point for picking Rousey third.
8-5. Decisive victory.
Yeah. That was probably the one of, because I feel like it being a rumble also just hurts it more because now I'm just really let down.
You are let down.
Yeah, I think it's just not a great rumble.
So let's
in
go
general.
watch a few episodes of The Office and you can recover.
Yes.
That is our nightly tradition. And so I think we'll wrap up this review of Royal Rumble 2022.
Shayna Baszler deserves better. Hashtag release Shayna Baszler, huh?
Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for
Baszler.
listening. Taking any time out of your week to listen to us two fools talk about wrestling. We will be back on Saturday for sure to talk about the week of wrestling other than this. And that is episode 81, I think, right, of FNS Wrestling?
believe so.
The flagship show, as we like to call it.
But the only show.
So, no, this is a show right here, right? So feel free to join us for that on Saturday. It usually comes out in the afternoon at some point. We'd love to have you back here. And until then, everybody, take care.